everyone, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. So today we're going to jump right in and we're going to make some easy garlic knots, and I got this recipe from Skinnytaste, and I will put the link below so that you can get it for yourself and give these a try. I've had these on my radar for a while, and I thought I just wanted just something a little. I'm actually not serving these with dinner, I'm just making these as a snack. So I am going to make mine in the air fryer. There's also directions to make these in your oven, so if you don't have an air fryer, no worries, you can make these right in your oven anytime. All right, so I went ahead and I pre-measured most of my ingredients just to make this go a little quicker. So the first thing we're going to need is 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 3/4 teaspoons of kosher salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 cup of fat-free Greek yogurt, and I will move this stuff around just to show you. Today I'm going to use my Fage non-fat Greek yogurt, and I have just shy of a cup of that measured out. Anytime I've made the 2-ingredient dough, I have always went shy on the Greek yogurt because of the fact that if you don't, the dough's just too wet. So if I need to add more, I have room to add a little bit more, but I would rather add more yogurt than flour. And then after we add those ingredients together, we're going to go ahead and make up a garlic butter sauce to put on top of these. And you're going to be using 3 cloves of garlic, and the garlic that I'm using today is just going to go, I'm just going to use this pre-chopped minced garlic, and I picked that up at Costco. Grated Parmesan cheese. I don't have fresh Parmesan cheese, so I have my old standby that I always have, and it's just the Kraft, I guess it is grated Parm, so I guess we could call this, just our grated Parm. So we're going to sprinkle this on top once we're done. And then it calls for 1 tablespoon of finely chopped fresh parsley. You guys know me, I don't keep that on hand, so I'm going to use dried today. So let's go ahead and get this recipe started. And as you know, it's not hard to put things like this together if you just use what you have. You don't need to go out and buy any special ingredients. I think I forgot to tell you about the butter. It's going to call for 2 teaspoons of butter as well. So I have this Country Crock light butter, and that's what I'm going to use. Now, per the recipe, this is going to be 2 smart points on blue, 3 smart points on green, and 2 smart points on purple. So the stats are pretty good on this one. So let's go ahead and get this recipe rolling. So again, I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour here, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'm going to roll up my sleeves real quick just so those are not in my way. To that, we're going to add in the 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. It says use less salt if you're using table salt, but I did have the kosher salt, so I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that right in our bowl. Actually, I'm just going to reposition us real quick just so that we have a little more room. Hold on, please. Get you a little better angle there. There we go. So there's our kosher salt, 3/4 teaspoon on that. It's going to call for 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So just use whatever brand you have. I think I picked this brand up at Aldi, to tell you the truth. All right, so there's our salt, there's our baking powder, and you guys know me, as I'm starting to use ingredients, I like to set them off to the side so that I know everything actually went in. It says once we get that done, we should whisk that well. So I'm going to grab my whisk here. We're just going to whisk that together. I think that's pretty well. All right. Next it says to add the yogurt and mix with a spoon until incorporated. So we're going to do that next. And it says that it's best to use a Greek yogurt versus something a little less thick because of the fact that if it's too watery, then it is. I'm gonna grab my whisk here and my spatula here. If it's too watery, then the dough's going to be too wet, and you're going to have all kinds of problems there. So I'm just going to go ahead and start to incorporate this in. And I'm just gonna stir and push. I find that easiest when I'm working with the 2-ingredient dough. It just kind of incorporates it and mixes it together a little easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this together, and once that starts to come together, I'll come back and we're gonna have to stick our hands in this dough to finish off the kneading. So stay tuned, I'll be right back. Okay, so it's nice and crumbly now, so I'm gonna stick my hands in here and see if I can get this to come into a ball. Now this is gonna tell me if I used enough yogurt. If I did, it should come together and I should be able to pull it into a ball. If not, I'm going to put a little bit more in and continue to stir it. But again, past experience says that you definitely want to have less. I may have to use a little bit more in here. I think I'm going to just use a little bit more in here just to kind of get that to incorporate. So again, when you're baking, sometimes you have to just take a little chance here and play with it. So I'm going to throw just a little bit in there and we'll see how that goes. All right, just wanted to get that back and down into the middle again before I started. I know my hands are in the way, but I figured this would be the easiest to. Yeah, that's better. Just don't want it to be too sticky because then you really can't work with it too much. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this together into a ball, which it's almost there. Okay, I think we're there. All right, I'm gonna transfer that over to my silicone mat here. Go ahead and knead this just a few more times. All right, so we're just going to put this into a ball. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to cut this into 8 equal pieces. Grab my handy dandy knife here. Just start to cut. Go. And one more. All right, that's about as equal as we're gonna get. All right, so we're gonna take one and we're gonna start to roll it into strips. So just got here, so we're just gonna roll it into probably a 9-inch strip. I really like the silicone baking mat because it'll tell me what the measurements are on here. And if I go 9 to 9, probably 8, 9, yeah, 9 to 9. So that's about a 9-inch strip, so that one's good. I'm just gonna go ahead and roll this one. We'll do one more. All right, that's good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of these off camera and then I'll be back. Okay, I have our 8 strips ready, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and tie these in a knot. Just as simple as that. Tie it in a quick knot. Show you another one. Just gonna bring it over. Tie it in a knot. All right, so I'm gonna get the rest of these done. I'll roll this one out a little bit more. Get the rest of these done and then I'll be back. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna toss these into our air fryer. I'm gonna see how many I can fit in here comfortably because I'm sure they're gonna rise a little bit. I don't know. You know what? I think I'm gonna be able to get them all in here. And this is why I say when you're buying an air fryer, always buy them a little larger so that you have the room to do things like this and not have to, I don't know, just because there's only 2 of us doesn't mean we needed a super small air fryer. So I think that's plenty of room in between these. So I did not have any spray olive oil, so I'm just going to use this canola oil, and I'm just going to spray the tops of these. All right, so I am going to throw these in my air fryer at 325 degrees. Actually, I need to preheat my air fryer. Didn't do that, so guess what? We're just gonna go for it. So I'm gonna bring you over, show you my air fryer. Okay, here we go. So we're going to cook this for 11 to 12 minutes. We're gonna say 12 at 325. I think mine only goes in 10 increments, so we're gonna say 330 on mine. So 325 in your air fryer. If you're gonna put these in the oven, it's 375 degrees. So if you're cooking in the oven, it's 375 degrees for about 18 minutes, and it says that you want to bake them on the top third of the oven until they're golden brown, and then we're gonna let them cool for 5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and start to put together our garlic butter next, and then wait for our garlic knots to finish cooking. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use this bigger burner up front just so you can get a better look at what I'm doing up here. So what I did is I pre-measured out our butter, our garlic, and our Parmesan cheese. So I have 2 teaspoons of butter here. Make sure we get all that in there. And then I went ahead and measured out a big, huge heaping, this one's 2 teaspoons. So I just did a heaping scoop of this one. Called for 3 cloves of garlic, but I never know how to measure that out. So good enough, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and cook this garlic just to get the raw taste out of it. So we're just gonna go ahead and let that sit for a minute. And then the Parmesan cheese we're just gonna sprinkle on top along with the parsley. So I'll just sprinkle those on top last. We have about 3 minutes left for our garlic knots. I just checked them, they're looking great. They're smelling even better. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cook this for another minute, and then I'll come back and show you what that looks like once the 2 of these get melted together really good. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up for the video today. YouTube likes that, and it helps my channel. Don't forget to leave me some comments below. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. I think that you'll like it if you stick around. So, all right, with that said, I'm gonna wait till these get done, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm not sure how the lighting's gonna be in here, but I just wanted to show you quickly. Look at these. Perfect. Look how amazing they look. I'm gonna pull these out, and I'm going to get these on a plate, and we're going to butter and garlic these babies up. All right, look at these. Tell me that you're excited, just as well excited as I am, because I'm probably not as excited as I am, because I'm actually going to eat these right now. But holy moly, they look amazing. Oops, that baby didn't want to go on the plate, did it? All right, slide my air fryer out of the way. I'm gonna grab a brush, and if you don't have a pastry brush, no worries. All you have to do is go ahead and get yourself a spoon, and you can just drizzle it over it. So here is our garlic butter. Oh, you know what? I think I'm just gonna use a spoon. I can just use the spoon I got, right? I may have used a little more garlic than I should have, but that's okay. You can't go wrong with garlic, right? Make sure if you're going to eat these that you share them with your spouse, because both of you want to go to bed with some garlic breath, not just one of you. So that's always a good thing. All right, I'm going to grab my Parmesan next. And you know what I think I'm going to do? It said to use, if they didn't seem wet enough, to use a little more olive oil. But I think what I'm going to do is I have my handy dandy spray butter here. So, and it's 0 calories, 0 everything. So I'm just gonna throw a little extra butter on these to get my cheese and everything to stick. There. Gonna sprinkle some cheese over these. Those look perfect. All right, I think that's enough cheese. I don't think we're gonna need all that cheese. And then we're gonna hit it with a little bit of parsley flake, just for color. I mean, does parsley really have a flavor? Yeah, I figured you guys might wanna see the middle of these. So let me pull these apart so you can see how good these look. How's that? I'm gonna give this one a taste real quick. Holy moly. Really good. Really, really good. Wow. All right, the only thing that I think I would change up next time is I would probably put some garlic powder in the dough and use less garlic for the top. I think would be my preference, but wow, so good. Okay, so I just wanted to come back on here really quick and show you how those were, give you my opinion, and I will see you next video.